Okay, I'm going to go over this week's lecture. This is week 5 lecture, maybe week 6. And we're going to do the plot plan. Some of you have gone through this already, so you can fast forward this thing as far ahead as you need to get up to the point where we're going to put in the property. But I'm going to start from the beginning for those that need a little bit of a refresher. So first of all, I'm going to go back through fixing the title block. If we go to my title block letter, I've already shortened this one up, so you may need to explode yours. The big thing you want to make sure is when you go to plot and you hit the preview button, you want to make sure your border is visible all the way around. So I'd gone ahead and shortened this one up. Now we're going to create an 11 by 17 title block. So I'm going to get out of this one, cancel that, go to my model, and we're going to insert the title block back in here. Hit OK to get through our attributes. And what we're going to do is just select it, and you're going to type explode. Once we explode it, then we can move things around. We're going to take this blue bar and we're going to move it a distance of, needs to be a 17-inch long piece of paper. So right now it's like 10.5. I'm going to move it 5.5 inches. And then we're going to move this one up 2.5. Okay, now we're going to grab the whole thing. We're going to move it so it's right about at 0, 0. Like 0, 0. Yeah, it never works for me. Just move it over about to here, just so it's close to that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create this cell, or this block. So just select the whole thing again, go to create. We're going to call it title block 11 by 17. Just say OK. Hit OK again. Still going to have the same attributes. Down here at the bottom, I have a title block letter, and you might have a layout 0, but I'm just going to hit the plus sign. We're going to create a new layout. This one's called layout 1, and I'm just going to right click on this and say rename. We're going to call it TB 11 by 17. Now, if we click on it, you'll see we still got 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I'm going to right click, go to Page Setup Manager, and we're going to modify this. And we're going to tell it, rather than a letter size paper right here, we're going to change this to an 11 by 17. We're going to use our DWG to PDF. We're going to change to our CIE 101 pen. And we're just going to say OK. Then we can close this out. You can see we still have a viewport. I'm going to delete that. And what we're going to do now is bring in our 11 by 17 title block. Come right down to the corner of the paper. Hit OK. And what we'll do is right click, say plot, preview, and we can see that our border is it shows up all the way around, which is what we're looking for. So now we have both an 11 by 17, oops, don't want to really print that, and an 8.5 by 11 title block. So now for today's project, I'm going to do a file, save as, and we're going to call this one, let me delete this old one here. We're going to call this plot plan, and we'll just hit save. Now you can see up at the top our drawing is called plot plan. If you go to your, what we're going to do is just delete this old title block, so we start out with a blank screen. If you turn to page 465 in your textbook, you'll see we have a plot plan there of a lot 15, basically a subdivision within a township. So it's 1 mile square. We're going to change this now so we're working not in just inches, but in engineering units. So we're going to go to our units and change this from decimal to engineering. So you'll notice we're working in feet and inches. The way we key in feet and inches is you key in the number of feet with the apostrophe. Don't put a dash in, and then you put in the number of inches in decimal places. If we were using architectural, we'd be doing the same thing but using fractions. So in this case, we're using engineering, and just say OK. So now we're going to key in 1 mile by 1 mile. Before we do that, we're going to create some layers. I'm going to right click, create a new layer. This one's going to be called plot outline. And we're going to create another new one. This one's going to be called subdivisions. And then we're going to create one more. This one's going to be called property 100. We're going to give our plot outline a color of red. Our subdivisions are going to be in green. And our property will be also in green. And we'll close this out. So we're going to start with our plot outline in red. So we're by layer. I'll use a little thicker line so you can see it better. So we're going to start with our rectangular tool. We'll start and just type in 0, 0. We're going to key in 5,280 feet. Tab 5,280 feet. Enter. Just double click your wheel. That gets you down. So there's our 1 mile by 1 mile property. Now we're going to divide this in quarters. So we're going to change now to our subdivisions, and we need a different line style. We're going to take this layer line style and go to other. We're going to load two line styles. We're going to load a center line, and we're going to load a hidden line. Hit OK. And we'll just start with a single line style. Make sure that we're in center line. And we're just going to come down, start at the center point up here, and I'm only coming down halfway. And just you can come over and just kind of kiss this side. When you kiss it and bring it back, you'll see how it kind of indicates you're halfway, and just left click right there. Now you're going to come down and finish the line all the way to the bottom. Hit your escape key. This creates then two line segments, which is kind of what we want. You'll notice it doesn't show me that center line. So I want you to type in this command, LTSCALE, line type scale, hit enter, and I want you to put in 5,000. Now you'll see your center line shows up. We're going to do the same thing from this center point to this point, and then to this point. By doing it in segments, it allows us to be able to snap to center points here. So now we're going to change to our hidden line. We're still in the line type scale at 5,000, which is fine. We're going to put a horizontal line right across here. Hit enter. We're going to do a vertical line straight down. Hit enter. We're going to do vertical line straight down here. Enter, enter, and another one, subdividing it this way. And I want to just change now to my light blue color and go to a continuous line style. I'll just say by layer. No, shouldn't have done that. All right, so what I'm doing is just shortening these lines up. Changing back to green and hidden. So I wanted these to be segmented too. so I could snap to the center point because I'm being lazy. Now we'll change it to the light blue, continuous. And now we've got a line running horizontal in this direction from the midpoint. We're running horizontal in this direction from the midpoint. We're running vertical in this direction. We're running horizontal in this direction. And we're running vertical in this direction. Oops, messed that one up. Should look like this. Each of these represents a segment of property. And now we're going to label these. If you didn't do this in class, I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. And we're going to call it property labels. And we're going to make that, let's see, and we'll keep it green. Give us a relatively heavy line weight. And we're going to create some text styles now. So go to our annotation. We're going to select text style, new. This one's going to be called plot plan 1. I'm going to say OK. And we want our text height to be, I'm going to say 170 feet. And we'll say set current, yes, and close. So now if I do, I'm going to do this as multi-line text. And it's going to be called NW. Oops, why is that in cyan? Oh, forgot to change it here. Property labels by level. Okay, now I can delete that. Now we'll do it. Multi-line. So this is going to be NW 1/4. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Let's see if it stays there. And this is 160 acres. Okay. That's our biggest one. So I'm just going to move that, kind of center it here. Now let's make a smaller text, and I'm going to change this to the light blue. And this time we're going to call it new. This will be plot plan 2. Okay, and this one will be 100 feet. Because everything we do in dimensions and text, it all relates to our working units. Set current, close. We're in cyan. I'm going to go multi-line text. And we'll put one. I'll put it right here and then I'll move it. This one is west 1/2. I have to backspace to get it to not go into a fraction mode. Southwest 1/4. And that is 80 acres. And we'll just move that down here near the center. And I'm going to make a copy of it. Put it right there. If I double click on it, now I can edit this, and it's east 1/2, southwest 1/4, and that's also 80 acres. Up here at the top, whoops, we'll place one here, and one here, and let's put one here. Let's see if we can edit these correctly. This one, just double click on it. This is north 1/2. This is northeast 1/4, 80 acres. The 1/4, if you look in the previous page on the book, 2 pages back, it tells you how they subdivide these lots out into quarters and using, I'm not really sure what the mechanism is there, but we're doing it by the book. So this one is south 1/2, northeast 1/4, 1/4 I should say, 80 acres. Down here on the bottom, I'm just copying what's in the book. This will be southwest 1/4. Oops. And southeast 1/4. And that's 40 acres. This one will be south 1/2. Southeast 1/4, and then they've got south, oops, southeast 1/4 again, and that text is a little too big, so I'm going to make this one smaller. We're going to go to 70 feet. Come on, let me put it in there. Well, didn't like me. Should be able to edit that. Maybe I got to select it first. There we go. Now we can edit it. And that was south 1/2, southeast 1/4, and southeast 1/4 again. That's 20 acres. And I just resized this one. This one is northwest 1/4. And southeast 1/4, southeast 1/4, and that's 10 acres. Now we have this set. Put one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and then put one there and one there. Now we just need to edit these. So this one is going to be northeast 1/4, and that's all we need to change there. This one is going to be southeast 1/4. This will be northeast 1/4, southeast 10 acres. And this one will be southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, southeast, that's 10 acres. This one is south 1/2. This is northwest. Whoops. 1/4, southeast 1/4. This one is north 1/2, northeast 1/4, southeast 1/4, 20 acres. This one is northeast, northwest, southeast, and then the last one, I think I gotta check, northwest and northwest, and southeast, 10 acres. And that looks like it's done. So now what we're going to do is go to our 11 by 17 title block, and we're going to create two viewports. We're going to go to our layout, and we're going to put a rectangular viewport starting right in the center point, go down to this corner. There's our property. And then we're going to create another one. This time it's a polygon. We're just going to follow it around just like we did on our 8.5 by 11. And then we hit C to close. There's our property again. So in this case, if I go to I can zoom in and zoom out here. And I forgot to do one more thing back in our model. We need to put north, west, east, and south. So we're going to go to our larger text, plot plan 1, make it red. Oops. Property labels, but I want this to be red. And we'll just place single line text. This is north, west, east, and south. And I like to just kind of build them and then move them. Okay. Get back to our 11 by 17. We can see that on there now. So we're going to concentrate on our left, and I just double click on that to make that my active level or my active viewport. And I want to create, we happen to know that this fits in a 1 inch equals 800 feet. So we don't have a 1 inch equals 800 feet, so we're going to create one. We're going to add a scale name, 1 inch equals 800 feet. So one paper unit is going to equal, you can either put 9,600 inches or 9,600 or 800 feet. I didn't know that. One of the students told me that. Hit OK. So now if I drop this down, there's my 1 inch equals 800 feet. And watch that viewport. You'll notice it resizes. I can move it just a little bit. So I'll put a written scale down here of 1 inch equals 800 feet when we get ready for that. Now, going back to our paper, if I double click in this one, I can rescale this one to something else. And what we're going to see, if you look on the next page, on page 466, we've got a plot where I actually have a piece of property that sits right here on this line. And we're going to go draw that in place in its own level, which is property 100. We'll zoom in on this, and we're going to create this by changing a few things. Instead of putting angles in here like 90 degrees or 45 degrees, we're actually putting in our bearing angles using the compass. And you'll see how that works in a minute. So we're going to go to our angle file under surveyor options. So if we go to our units, we can go to our application menu, drawing utilities, units. We're still in engineering, but now instead of decimal degrees, we're going to go to surveyor units. So you see it's north, 0 degrees east. We're going to go to our direction down here at the bottom, and believe we want that to say, we want it to be north. I want to make sure. Yeah, this should work. north for the base angle. Yep, that's on number 6. It says open the dynamic input, so I'm going to hit OK, hit OK. So we go to D settings, and we're going to, if you look on the next page, they give us some, they want us to check off our settings, polar, and they've got absolute selected there. I'm going to leave that for now. I'm not really sure if we need to do that. So let's leave it the way it is and just try it. So we're going to start with our line tool, and we're using just a solid line. I want this to be green, or at least by layer. Start with the line tool. We're going to go right up here, let it settle, and go straight down. We're going to key in a distance of 151 feet. Nope, no, I'm sorry, not 151. It goes down 212 feet and 7.1. That's how we key it in. Hit enter. So that's the start of our property line. Now we're going to we're going to specify a length, and we're going to specify 151 feet, 2.4. We're going to hit our tab key, and our angle is going to be north 89 degrees. Use a small d. 55 minutes. 0. I can just hit, I don't think I need the 0 inches west. And press the enter key. We'll zoom in here. Now we're going to come down a distance of 74 feet. 6.7, and tab, and this is going to be north 0 degrees, 15 minutes, use the foot mark, west. Now we're going to pull it back this way. We're going a distance of 151 feet, 2.4, tab, and this is going to be south 89 degrees, 55 minutes, 0 inches east, and then it goes, scratch my eye, goes back up, and this time we'll go ahead and key it in. It's going to be a distance of 74 feet, 6.7, tab. The angle is going to be south 0 degrees, 0D, 15 minutes east. Went the wrong way. Delete that. So I messed up here. They give you the description. I think they've got it messed up in the books, so it should be north 0 degrees, 15 minutes, 0 inch west. to the point of beginning. All right, I'm going to, if you look at figure 10.12.1, I think there's a little bit of a misprint in the book there, so I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to follow the written instructions rather than going by the textbook. So I'm going to start up here. And we're going to go down a distance of 212 feet, 7.1 inches. And then we're going to, now it says, south of northwest corner, then south. So we want to go 74 feet, 6.7 tab, and this is going to be south 0 degrees, 15 minutes east. And then we're going to follow the directions again. We're going to go 151 feet, 2.4 tab. And this one is south 89 degrees, 55 minutes, 0. I'm just going to put W because I don't have any. And we're going to go up. We're going 74 feet, 6.7 tab. And this one is north 0 degrees, 15 minutes west. There we go. Now we're going to come back and we're going to key in a distance of 151 feet, 2.4 tab. And it's north 89 degrees, 55 minutes east. Brings us back to the point of beginning. So that ties it all together. Now we're going to put some notes on here. We're going to use a different layer to put this on, and I want to use my light blue color. And we'll create a layer here for, and we had property labels. We're going to put in, we'll call it survey text dimensions. And that'll be light blue. So if I want to just check and see how high do I want my text to be, if I just draw a line and say I want my text to be, now let's say 5 feet tall. So we're going to create a new text here. We'll call it new. It's going to be property label text. It's going to be 5 feet tall. Make sure you put the foot mark on it. And say set current and close. Now if I just do a linear dimension here, from this point to this point, oops, don't have the right one. Oh, we got to create a dimension style for this. So we'll create a new one. We'll call it property. It's going to be, yeah, we'll just leave mechanical. Hit continue. And we want this to be in engineering format. And that looks like the right decimal places. We want it to, everything else looks good. Our lines will be by layer. Symbols and arrows, let's make those 2 feet. Text, will be, we'll say standard text, but we want our standard text to be 5 feet tall. And we want it aligned with the dimension line, so it'll go vertical. And you'll see why in a minute. And we'll just say, let's just say OK and close. If we look at that, property label, property, so if we go with a linear dimension now from here to here, we can see, and I'm going to bring this right down close to the text line. Now, if you look on page, I highlighted it. Just can't remember where. There it is. Every course will need both linear and angular dimensions. The linear dimension will be the length of the course, and the angular dimension will be the azimuth. We can remove the dimension lines by just going to, I think we can just select it, go to Properties, and dimension line here, we want to turn that off. Dimension line 2, we're going to turn it off. And if we go down a ways, extension lines, we want off and off. Oops. Oops, didn't get it set here. Off, there we go. So it allows us to make those invisible. We'll do the same thing. Why does it have an extra inch on it? I know why. Go to our annotation property and go to modify. And because we put a suffix on there, we want to delete that. So if you had that suffix, just say OK and close. Now we'll do our next property, linear dimension. This one, oops. It's right there. And we'll put all our dimensions on first, and then we'll go suppress the wrong piece of it. Didn't come out just right, did it? Oh, that's why. Didn't quite meet. I think there was something wrong. We'll go ahead and dimension just that line. So I want this end here down to this end. There we go. Just so it looks right. I'm going to put this on the inside, and I'm going to do the same thing to this one, pull it up onto the inside. Now if I select this dimension, and this dimension, right click, go to Properties. We can turn these all off together. There we go. And now what we need to do is put some text underneath these. So it's just going to be single line text. And we're going to mark this will be the first one right from the property description is north. Oops, I want to use I'll change. It should be cyan. So north 89. Use the degree symbol, which is da, 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 da. They probably tell me what to use for a degree symbol. I used to use the caret. Get rid of this. Yep, not online. I'll have to figure that one out and get it to you. I know there's a command. Give me just a second. If I don't find it in the next 30 seconds, we'll skip it, but that's there. Vertical text, annotative. Format codes for degrees. %D. Can that be right? Let's try it. %D. Remember that. So we had north 89 %, D. Look at that. %D, believe it or not. 55 minutes, 0 inches west. And we had south 89 %D. 55 minutes, 0 seconds east. Hit escape. I'm just going to put this one right down here. This one I'm going to move over. We're going to create some new text, this time single line, and I'm going to make it vertical. So it's even, don't pay any attention just because it looks like it's north 0%, whoops, 0% D, 15 minutes west. When I hit enter, oh, come on, there we go. I'm going to put that right there. And we'll do a control C and a control V and place that one right here. You'll notice when you go to edit these, it turns them sideways. And that one is south 0 degrees, 15 minutes east. I'm going to select all of these, change those to cyan color. Guess I got to go to properties and do it. Huh, must have locked it in there. So we'll go to our annotation, property text, modify, text, cyan. Is that all I need to do? Yeah, okay. And so there's our property. You can see how small it is. We're going to go back to our 11 by 17 title block. There's our property. And let's see what kind of scale. If I put in, let's see, it's 171, let's call it 200 feet I need. And I got about a 5-inch block. So I'd say 1 inch equals 50 feet maybe. So let's go here. We'll go down, we'll say custom and add. We're going to go 1 inch equals 50 feet. So 1 paper unit will equal 50 feet. Hit OK. OK. Let's see what happens when we go to, whoops, 1 inch equals 50 feet. Let's try 1 inch equals 30 feet. Or maybe 1 inch. Yeah, 1 inch equals 30 feet, I think. Add. 1 inch equals 30 feet. 1 paper unit is going to equal 30 feet in drawing units. Hit OK. And we'll change that one to 1 inch equals 30 feet. Much nicer. Now we're going to put some text on here now. So let's go to our annotation tool again. We're going to create some new text. This time, remember we're working in paper space now. So I want this to be, we might be able to use our point 1 text, which is part of our title block. And we'll say set current and close. And we'll put single line text right here. And that is going to be scale. 1 inch equals 800 feet. And what text am I using there? Point 1 text. Let's try 0.07 text. That's probably better. Scale. 1 inch equals 800 feet. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. I mean to say that. We want it to stick. There. And let's move some more text. Interesting. So maybe I got to do this in the paper space side. Let's try this. Maybe it's because I was in model. 1 inch equals 800 feet. And this is scale. 1 inch equals 30 feet. And there we go. As soon as I hit escape, they went to their proper size anyway. So I'm going to put that right down here. I'm going to put this one right here. And we're going to give these a label. So let's go to our annotation. We'll change it to our point 2 text. And we're going to say, we'll call it subdivision 15 plot plan. And this one will be property survey 100. And we'll just kind of center these where they need to be. That one actually looks pretty good. Let's see if I can change those to green. Very nice. Come down here to our title. Our title is going to be property exercise. Location, I'll keep it Orono. Everything else looks good. Scale. We get 2 different scales, so what we write is add note as noted. Our date is going to be 2-10-15. Sheet number C1 for civil. Hit apply and OK. My gosh, I think we did it. What we can do now, though, is I'm going to keep this on cyan. I'm going to draw a circle right here. And that will indicate this larger scale. And we could even put a little note on there. Let's see. We'll go to our point 1 text, or 0.07. Go to a leader. Not sure why that. Modify. Symbol, type, leader structure, content, standard, text style. We want that 0.1. Oh, ha. I don't think that's what I wanted. Standard. That looks better. So it just indicates property 100 is located right there. So now let's go to our plot set for 11 by 17. Let's do a preview. And we can zoom in, take a look at our property, and you'll notice, ooh, our line styles aren't showing up. So that's a problem. So we're going to go back to our model, cancel this out, go back to our model. I'm going to type in PSLTSCALE. We're going to set that to 1 and enter. Go to this one. those should show up on that side. Let's type in PSLT scale, set it to 0. Go to our letter. Oops. That should set them. So PSLT, maybe I got to do it here. It's showing up. Back to the book. I'm going to leave that one for you guys, I guess. I'll figure it out between now and next week, but see if you can figure out getting your line styles on there correctly. I know it's that PSLT. Let's see, they're showing up on this one. How come? No. Probably got some switch turned off here. Let's go ahead and print it out anyway, and we'll figure it out. I'll tell Eric not to mark you off for that. So anyway, we're going to come down here, right click, say plot, do a preview, and we're going to print this. I'm going to put it in my on my desktop, and going down to C-Junkins plot plan, and everything looks good except our line styles aren't showing up. So we will figure that one out, and I must have something turned off on here. So I'll let you go for now. That gets you through most of it, and I'll send you a note if I figure out real quick how to make that show up. So that'll be good enough for tonight. Thanks. All right, quickly I figured it out, a little addendum. I didn't really figure it out, it just started working. So let me close out this preview. If I look at, I went back to my model, I typed in PSLT scale, set it to 0, and then when I went to my title block, I just had to, you might have to type regenerate, oops, R-E-Gen, just regen, and it'll put it in. Now, the other thing I did is I wanted to get these lines to show up as center lines, but I had to change the scale on them. So if I go back to my model, I went up here to these lines, and you'll notice on this one, if I let me hit escape because I had more than one thing. You'll see if I put my line type scale to 1, I made it a center line. It looks solid. But if I change it and make it line style scale 0.1, it gives me the spacing. Whoops. 0.01, sorry. There we go. Let's select it here first. 0.01. Gives us this spacing. As a matter of fact, let's make it 0.02, just to give it a little bit more depth. And I made it yellow, so 0.02. So it gives us a nice boundary. When we go back to our title block 11 by 17, you can see it's giving us that boundary there now. Gives us our line styles the way we want to see them. I'm going to right click, say plot. I'm going to preview it real quick, see if everything looks good. I think I'm cooking. Hit print. I'm going to replace this one with this one. Yes. And now we've got a pretty good looking map here now, so we can see we've got good line weights. We've got good line weights over here. Everything's nice and visible. And there, you can see there's our thick line weight, medium line weight, and our thin line weight here. Go back out. Everything looks good. Title block's ready. You're going to submit this on Blackboard as your assignment 6, and I'll place that up so you can put it in for grading. So when you get that done. All right, so that should do us. I think I got it done this time. Thank you.